What's happening? What's happening? What's happening, y'all? Net is back. Oh my goodness. What's happening? If you only knew all of the stuff I went through, but it was worth the journey going to Las Vegas. And unfortunately, I'm a little bit behind the ball with everybody, but no worries, because there are some things that I'm ahead on. Okay. And most definitely, man, we're right with these dogs, man, with everything I've been saying. Are we not entertained? Let's face the truth. Net has been saying this. The home team has been saying this from 3 to 4 weeks ago about what's going to happen, how it's going to get done, and some more stuff, okay? One of the things that I just really want to do right before we get into the numbers and the nuts and bolts of this whole discussion is I want to get down here to the make sure you guys are subscribing to the channel, because we're definitely trying to build this channel, man, as we do our thing, man. It's just, man, it's been great, man. It's been great. Yep, make sure you go and subscribe. Make sure you like the channel, you know what I'm saying? And hit that notification bell so you can keep up with me. And maybe you can even send me a message like, man, what happened, man? What happened to you? I want to share that a little bit later as we go along the show. But obviously, the ultimate is what happened in regards to Michael Penix and them Huskies, all right? Haven't been there, and you guys seen some of the stuff that I put up, you know, in regards to the footage and whatnot. You know that doggone well. Boy, we was in a nice little dog fight there, but as you can tell, you know, dogs beat ducks all the time. And we definitely put up the thing that we needed to do, man. I mean, we punched our ticket. There was, you see, there wasn't no discussion about was Washington gonna be up in the, you know, the CFP playoffs. Are they gonna? No, it's an automatic punching for the ticket because we did something. And let's face it, man, the naysayers kept saying that Oregon was gonna beat us. Even my famous go-to statistic and predictor, ESPN, everybody went against the Dogs. I was like, okay, well, not me. I believe in them. Even though I had a bad feeling in my stomach, I knew it was going to be a close game. You know what I'm saying? I knew that. And everybody else who was trying to, you know, pretty much put the Huskies in some kind of let's just say, cast us in the light of we're not as good as they think we are. Well, guess what? We are what you thought we weren't. We were what we thought we were. You know, we knew all day that we was gonna come back and do the thing. How you doing, Miss Jerry? Hey, Jerry's in the building. Appreciate you sliding up through here. I'm just now getting the chance to address this trip that I had. You know, I haven't got a chance to tell a lot of people, you know, but I did have a health incident, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like something I just had to work through. You know, I got extremely dehydrated. It wasn't even hot in Vegas, you know what I'm saying? But I think it was all the dryness and me not drinking water, and I just got really cramped up and all that stuff, you know, to the point where I just had to rest when I got back, and I fell behind the 8 ball, y'all. What can I say? But my trip, my experience, my journey is here to share with you guys, because it definitely was a great trip. And I definitely, like I said, I called a lot of this stuff out already. I called it out when all of these so-called big-time analysts, the CBSs, you know what I'm saying, the ESPNs and all that, all these people were favored against my Huskies. And I just wasn't going for it. I wasn't going for it. And in fact, this is what I did do. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's that it is dry air and whatnot. And especially since I wasn't staying hydrated, I kind of let that slip, I kind of, I wasn't thinking like because it wasn't hot. It was, it was cool. It was average weather, but it's like the dry, air, and I wasn't drinking water. Next thing I know, I cramped up seriously. But shout out to you guys who coming through and pulling up. So let me give you a quick look see so you can see what I'm doing here. Yes. So I took my white hat down there. Okay, I just bought the hat. Me, having some experience of, this ain't a small flex or nothing, but let's just say having the experience of some, what they do when you win the championship, man. You end up getting you a white hat. You get a white hat, you know what I'm saying? And usually says champions and whatever else. So I brought my own white hat, right? And I gets down there, and sure enough, I'm like, man, let me put my white hat on. I ain't took it off since I left. Because I'm so happy, so ecstatic about what happened, man. And it was just a beautiful thing. For me, it was a full circle of the things that I've got to experience and seeing them young men out there doing their thing. Excuse me, I fell off there right quick. I got knocked off right quick. No worries though. But it would turn out to be a good thing, as in regards to what it was that the team's goals were and whatnot. Make sure yep, I'm on. But being the underdog, that was really something, especially since we already beat that team. I was at that game, and I'm like, hey man, what are you guys trying to do? And I've all told you the scenarios, about how they love to try to somehow or another. They're figuring, well, if we take it on the chin, that they can start trying to sneak back to teams like the Alabamas. And lo and behold, I said this 2 weeks ago. I'm gonna make a "I told you so" section. I told you so. Flick of what I did and what I said, just so I could bring the receipts. But it was really, like they brought them back. It wasn't on top of us though. There was no discussion about us not being that number one team or at least that number two team. We could have very easily been the number one team, if you ask me. If you look at the strength of schedule and all that, I mean, it's like, come on, man. Come on, man. We what else do we have to say? Okay, we beat more top 15, 20 teams, 15 or 20 top rated teams than anybody else. You know what I'm saying? And we handled our business, and what was great about the whole game was Michael Penix was back in full form. It was beautiful to me. It was beautiful. What I want to do right there is I want to I want to go into some of that footage right quick so we can share just what I saw. You know what I mean? Let me take it right there, right quick. Okay, y'all. I'm gonna share this, and I'll give you guys some commentary. Mm-hmm. Ain't that a beautiful setting? This is what I saw. Okay. I ain't trust you. I mean to tell you, you ain't never gonna see that. This look like a spaceship, don't it? Man. It's definitely a beautiful spot up here. And I was just like, man, I was so happy to be, because I've been there before and I kept saying, I'm gonna be in there. I'm gonna be in there. And sure enough, I got my shot as soon as them Huskies showed up. So let's look at some of the players. I'm going to turn down some of the commentary because I'm gonna be putting my own in there.
12 title game from Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas.
Okay. Two of the big dogs, you know what I'm saying? Both coaches are looking like, they're pretty, there's no grudge matches or nothing like that. Now, right off the rip, let me just say this. I told you all we're going to have to run the ball. We got to control the line of scrimmage, and we got to make sure that we're pushing them around and get behind our running back Dylan Johnson, who is looking. He was getting ready to eclipse 1,000 yards if he hadn't already by the time he got there. And I was like, man, he's turning it on. He's going to take some of the some of the stress off of Michael Penix. And lo and behold, here he comes, right off the play, right off the rip. So they start trying to try to call in the reserve. Like, man, I don't like the way it's starting. Well, you can't stop that man. Another rainbow shot. Like the way it starts. So the offense is clicking. Our other running back, he's doing his thing. We're clicking. It says right here off the rip, Pac-12 championship game history since 2011. One team has overcome a 14-point deficit, and it was Utah last season. We already know what we did to Utah. We ended one of their winning streaks also. Oregon finally, doing their thing. They already had a field goal. Look at that. That was a great catch by their tight end. I was like, yeah, okay. They're not laying down. Like, I thought there could have been more effort on the ball, but it was what it was. One thing I can tell you is our defense is showed up. They put it on these guys. We're going to go over the numbers, and you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about. Right now, I just want you to watch the highlights and check it out. Look at Bo Nix. He was like a shortstop converting a double play. He was on his knees right there. Oh, let me run it back a little bit. He was on his knees when he threw that off. Look at him stand. He's about to go down right now. Touchdown. Bo Nix is a legitimate candidate for the Heisman, but most definitely that guy right there probably is going to take you to first or second. They trying their hardest to get back in this game. It's trying. It's 2017. Now, right about now, I'm up in the stands like, oh no, don't let them gain the momentum. Because the one thing I kept saying when I first got there, I said, man, if we win the snap, if we win the coin toss, let's not defer, because we've been having a problem getting off to a fast start. This is what I'm saying, right? I'm literally saying this out loud to some guys that were sitting next to me. I said, we need to just let them go right off the rip. If we win the snap, let's go ahead and take the ball. That's the way I was feeling. But lo and behold, the Ducks won the snap, and guess what? They won the coin toss, and guess what? They told her to kick it off to us. So I got what I wanted anyway. And we started off fast. And it came back to be a plus for us as the game went along. Look at Bo go. They're fired up. They're right there. Now, their running back, he's got the same kind of numbers that our running back got, Dylan. And back, we was worried about this guy, you know what I'm saying? He hadn't showed up until right now. And we're going to check out his numbers, but he's definitely a pro prospect. And he was something that they needed also to help them be competitive. So we're down, but we ain't out. And there goes Dylan again. Now, Dylan had a great game. He had a super great game, if you ask me. Look at that money shot. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, and we got our other receiver McMillan back, which is a super plus. That made us so unstoppable. It's hard to double up on Madunze. If you think you're gonna do that, then this guy's gonna tear your head off. And we had 3 good receivers that was getting their money. And obviously, all options were open. Tight end with the score. Can't beat it. Can't beat it. This is where I start worrying. I start panicking because they will score punches and bunches real fast on you. So it's 24-34, and this guy's doing a tightrope down the sideline, doing some incredible stuff, and gets it in there. Now, at first they called him out, but after further review, I was like, oh, no. I didn't say they cheated. I just said, oh, no. They didn't cheat. That was a good play. But as you can see, we was running it down with a minute left to go, and it was all about trying to stop our offense. And instead of him gaining 1 yard, he almost broke it. But you see what he did? Did y'all see what he did? He did some real heady up stuff. What he did was like something that people should recognize. Instead of trying to take it to the house, knowing that all he had to do was just go down, and that'll wind the clock down. Bo Nix can't even watch what's going to happen. I don't blame him. Everybody knows this is it right here. And that man, he had action of taking it to the house, we just like, let me just take it down. Hold on to the ball. That's money right there. And if you see a player who does that, he knows the circumstances of the game, that all he has to do now, since Oregon has no more timeouts, is to just hold on to the ball, and it's time for victory formation. Yes, the traditional dunking. All right, I want to hear what Michael Penix got to say. I'm going to play this.
AI has the power to automate. But if it's using untrusted data...
We'll get there. So Michael Penix, he said some things, that was really, really, if you ask me, it was very, very classy of him, and also he followed some the sayings of Geno for the Seahawks quarterback is going around trending right now about how they treated us, how the press treated us, how everybody was favoring the other team and whatnot. It was just bad, and I'm gonna show you all that one.
Just came over and told you we love you. Michael, from all the ups and downs you've gone through, how does this compare right now, this moment that you've worked for?
Man, this is the best moment, man. To be able to win this game, man, big time, last Pac-12 championship, and man, we just beyond blessed, to be in this position and, obviously to get this win. Obviously DJ put in a lot of work, man, today, finishing it off right there at the end, but man, we just so thankful.
There was a point in this second half, Oregon had scored 21 straight points. How did you guys start to gain some momentum back and some belief that you could win this?
Yeah, just staying with a 1-0 mindset, just continue to believe that, we have what it takes, and that's all we need, man. We have what it takes, and we just had to go out there and execute, and that's what we're able to do at the end of the game.
It is tough to wind the clock out like that. You guys are just trying to make first downs, and you give the ball to Dylan Johnson, who's out here limping, tired, exhausted. Why does this team believe in him so much?
Man, just his work ethic, man. He's the same guy each and every day, man, and he gives anything for this team, and man, we just appreciate him for trusting in us and coming here this year. And he's definitely been a big impact on all our wins this year.
Beautiful, beautiful. I love the fact that, that they spoke highly of Dylan, because I said it 5 weeks ago. We need this. We can't just be one-dimensional. And Washington is always known to have a good back. And Dylan came out 5 weeks ago, and he just turned it on. Now listen to these numbers, okay? Penix, he had 27 for 39, 319 yards. Do you know people were like, okay, he had an average game, and I'm like, his average game is like somebody else's excellent day, He had 1 TD and 1 INT, all right? When Bo Nix, what they're calling the Heisman favorite, right, had 21 of 34 for 239 yards, for 3 TDs and 1 INT, and he definitely got some yards running too. He was putting fear in their hearts. All right. Matter of fact, it's going to show up here in this stat. But he's the only one. He was the leading rusher. So what does that tell you? They shut their boy down. The only time he got up in there was on, on short yardage. And once he did that, it was like, okay, we're gonna shut him all the way down. But Bo Nix had 6 carries for 69 yards. Our guy, Dylan Johnson, 28 carries for 152 yards. I said this. Like I said, I gotta put my reel together to show my receipts. I said it weeks ago. Okay, they weren't even speaking about Dylan Johnson. I'm like, yeah, he's about to have 1,000 yards and all that. Watch, because he busted out for 250 yards a couple weeks ago. I'm like, yep, okay, do your thing. I think we see something. And he ain't no small back. He's about 6'2", 215. You know what I'm saying? He's like, yeah, you can be that cowbell workhorse. We need you, man. And here we go into the receiving yards. Johnson pretty much sat down. He was their top receiver. And McMillan was back with 131 yards. Woo! He just came back. He just got back. All right. Here's the important numbers, if you ask me. Now, the last time these two teams met up, right? The last time these two teams met up, they beat us in total yards. They had more yardage than us. And I believe we had more turnovers than them, and they definitely had more time of possession. And we still won. Here at the Pac-12 Championship, Oregon had 363 total yards, while Washington had 481, man. And these turnovers right here, they were back-to-back. Okay, they were back-to-back. First, Penix threw one, and then they came right on the field and gave it right back to us. So everything was all good. There was no issues with any of that. You know what I'm saying? It was like, man, we got the ball back, and that's all that mattered. We'll look at the team stats here so we can get into some important things, okay? This one being mostly the third down efficiency of Oregon. They were dominating the last game we played. They only were able to get 3 for 10 on third down. And even sometimes had to go fourth down because if they didn't do that, they wouldn't have been in the game. They converted a few of those fourth downs, but it was like they was going all out. They was definitely going out. But look at Washington's third down efficiency. 10 for 15. That's a beautiful convergence rate, right? That's 75%. That's keeping the sticks moving. Washington keeping the ball, keeping them off the field, which is what we had to do. Because you can see when Bo Nix get his motor going, he was dangerous, all right? But definitely. And then 363 total yards, all right? We shut them down. That's a shutdown for them. Meanwhile, we had almost 500 yards, 481 yards, a complete reversal of the last game. But yet and still, both times we win. It's just in the books. It's destiny. You know what I mean? It's destiny. Pretty much even in the yards, per pass. And then there's those interceptions right there, the 1-for-1, both of them. And it just was one of those things where, it was like you might as well punt it because we got it right back. We had Oregon had 20 rushing attempts. That was not what's supposed to be their game. And we had 37. We were controlling the ball. Bucky, that was the name of their runner. He had like almost 100 yards against us last time. He was pretty much shut down. You know what I mean? Defense stepped up so much. This defense is slept on. Okay, they're slept on. And I got a feeling now that after this stretch, this gauntlet stretch that I was calling it a long time ago. And here's another thing. I noticed that other commentators and analysts started calling it the gauntlet. I don't want to ever be to say, oh, I'm the first to say it. I'm just glad that they were also there to recognize that was a gauntlet, playing all of those teams, definitely top ranked teams, and going in there and handling business on the road. And I think 4 out of 5 teams, we were the underdogs. that was crazy. Yeah, we definitely controlled the ball, and we had way more penalties. We're 7 for 50. All right, and the turnovers again, and the time of possession 22 minutes and 52 seconds for Oregon, and we carried that ball 37 minutes. Telling you, that was the factor. That was the definite factor. So right now, I'd kind of like to say, should I say it? I told you so. I told you so. I said, man, these Huskies, people are sleeping on them. Oh, you already know we the jury? I'm sorry I missed your comment. She said, are we having a Super Bowl party? Well, my thing is this, right now, my Seahawks, and I'm just gonna tell the truth. They only playing 500 ball and they look real bad right now. Not too much don't celebrate other Super Bowl parties, you know what I mean? Not unless it's somebody like the 49ers because they in the NFC West. But guess what? Them NFC 49ers is being talked about as being the best team in the NFL right now. So we'll see what happens. All right. Thank you for your comment. But yeah, show you guys a couple of other things that were highlights for me, because me being alumni, and having a letter with the team and whatnot, I get access, you know what I mean? I get recognized and I get a chance to get some extra stuff that I want to do. So here were some of the shots of some of the guys. They got their cigars. Of course, they don't smoke them. They got their cigars, it's time to celebrate, most definitely time to celebrate. Here's yours truly, sitting just outside the press box there once I came out, sitting down there with the rest of the guys. And definitely great seats, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to say shout out to Illusions for helping me get there. Most definitely, man. It wouldn't have happened without you, man. I definitely appreciate you, brother. Now, some more of the players, chopping it up with them. You know what I mean? There's the Polk family up there. Polk was coming up around there. He was let's see where he's at. Oh man, there was so many people up there. I mean, where we was at, letting all the Husky fans and family, rub elbows and whatnot. It was just a beautiful thing, man. And that's what I like, Like I be telling people, you you fit in, right? You fit in when you belong to something. Okay, that's when you fit in. Me, I've got a legacy up there. I don't have to worry about fitting in and all that, trying to fit in. All I got to do is go back home. All I got to do is go back home. People don't know about my legacy and my family and all that stuff and my relationship, but it's not for everybody. It's for, just what I'm sharing with you right now. And I hope you all appreciate it. But most definitely, man. Now here's the kicker, y'all. So I'm doing an interview with Odunze, right? I'm like, man, they're shouting me out. They're giving me, class of 82 stats. Some of, yeah, we balled out. I'm thinking with this interview, I'm getting it all on tape, especially with Roman Odunze. He's from Las Vegas, right? So I'm like, man, I gets up about start heading out the door, and I goes back to look at it and kind of recognize, did I not push the button? Did I not push the button? Did I not get this? Because I was excited, especially with Roman Odunze. Let's face it, this guy's going to be probably one of the first, if not at least the top 3 receivers to go in the draft. You know what I mean? And he was definitely showing me all the love, you know what I'm saying? And making me feel real good about, our legacy and all of us being part of the Husky family, man, sharing his moment with us. And that was great. I was definitely happy about that, Here's some looks on him, though, right quick. mean, we're looking at one of the best receivers who creates space and gets himself open, all of the time. And the 50-50 ball, 9 times out of 10, the 50-50 ball being when the quarterback just throws it up and has confidence that his receiver's going to be the one that jumps and wins the battle of both players or defensive backs trying to go after the ball. And 9 times out of 10, this guy does it. I'm telling you, he is going to be 1 or 2 or 3 of the first receivers to go in the draft. Shout out to Roman the Doomsday, man. Appreciate you, man. And so what I'm going to do now, this is my plan now, because all of them was calling me class 82, class 82. I'm like, man. So like, well, okay. I'm going to hit him up and be like, hey, man, it's class 82, man. I forgot to push the button. Can I get a follow-up, man? Let's just do a whole new interview, all right? And hopefully that'll all work out, But most definitely, man, like I said, man, these guys are cool. Man, they got their heads on straight. They're focused. This was their moment to celebrate and whatnot. And they did that, They did that, you know what I mean? But they also kept it in perspective, like, you know what? We just punched our ticket. We're going to celebrate tonight, but tomorrow it's back to the drawing board. And that's the way I see it. That's exactly how I see it. That's a good look. What's up, Angel? How you doing, man? You're always up late, man. You late nighting it, man. I can't sleep nothing by you. Yeah, shout out to you, man. Yeah, thank you for coming through. We the jury. Appreciate you. Like I was telling everybody, Angel, I had a little episode, man. I got super dehydrated over there, man. And then when I got to, call myself, and I was, I walked through some airports. I mean, I had no problem. I've been walking through stadiums and all that, man, all season. My endurance was cool, but over there it was a different situation. Even though it wasn't hot, it was still dry. And I wasn't drinking my water, I just slipped on that, trying to stay dehydrated. And sure enough, man, I got back here and boom, everything froze up. I couldn't even move, man. I was like, what? And so I had to, kind of get some bed rest and just kind of wait, what I'm saying, for it to go away. Or I thought maybe I had to go to the hospital and get IV'd up and stuff like that. And I was kind of immobile for a day or two, and so I didn't feel like getting up on here and doing this. So I'm behind the ball, everything. But since I was there and this is my personal experience, I'm just sharing it with everybody anyway. You know what I mean? And especially the fact that not only did the Huskies get into the doggone college football playoffs, okay, the CFP, they right there number 2. And guess who they gonna play? Them Texas Longhorns. All right. And now check this out, y'all. Of course, they're already saying that Texas is favored. Even though, thank you, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate you, Angel, very much. But even though they got one loss, okay, they are so close, supposedly saying that they're going to be better than us. They've been saying this all year, okay? They've been saying this all year, so I don't care. And to be honest with you, the Huskies have done better than they ever. No Husky team has ever won 13-0. No team. I was on a team that went 12-1 at the end of it all, and that one loss knocked us out of the Rose Bowl. We ended up going to the Aloha Bowl, and we lost to our Washington State cross-state rivalry, and we weren't. They weren't even. They were like 3-8. They came in like it was the Super Bowl, and this is the stuff I've been telling y'all. If you survive a cross-state rivalry, just like if you talk about it, what happened with Georgia and Alabama. Come on now. Now I'm gonna do another segment tomorrow, right? And I'm gonna have those receipts ready about what I was saying in regards to them trying to sneak Alabama back into the picture. And lo and behold, tell me where the lie at. Didn't they do it? Didn't I say it? They figured out a way to get them up in there, and they in there. But luckily, Alabama is playing Michigan, and we could play Texas. Now, what did kind of suck about all of this is that They're making us go all the way down to Shreveport, okay? Going to the to the Superdome. And I'm like, okay, that's not even we're the home team. We're supposed to be in the Rose Bowl. I thought we was going to the Rose Bowl. Because I would have just drove down there. You know what I mean? But they took us to the Michigan's going to go play Alabama. They're going to play in the Rose Bowl, all right? But now we got to go all the way to doggone Shreveport to play. I'm like, man, come on, man. So, but yet and still, luckily, I got some things going on. I will be there. I'm going to be there. So with that being said, let's stay with it. Just follow me down there, man. You'll see what I'm talking about. But yeah, I'm going to do a whole little thing about it tomorrow about, the Longhorns, what their numbers looking like, some more stuff, also, talk about, the resume of what happened with Florida State. I'll be fielding some questions to you. How do people feel about what Florida State, what happened to them? They're one of the only teams that was undefeated from a major Big Five conference that did not get invited to the playoffs. Whew, boy, that hurts. That hurts. I can read some of that because my analysis is going to be mostly about the 4 teams that are in the playoffs tomorrow. So let's read what Florida State had to say, okay, about not being invited after winning their conference, winning their last game, going undefeated. Now I was on the plane talking to this guy. We're all trying to figure out who's going to get that fourth spot, and they kept saying Alabama's going to get in. And I was like, well, how's Alabama going to get in there when Texas beat them? And Texas is 12-1. So how's Alabama get in there? And then Florida's sitting here 12-0. And I'm like, nah, they can't do that. They can't do that. So it all rolled out as we know that they eliminated Florida State out of the college football championship with an undefeated record. This was the response from the vice president and athletic director. He said, to eliminate them from a chance to compete for a national championship is an unwarranted injustice that shows complete disregard and disrespect for the performers and accomplishments. It is unforgivable. Now, you know what? I have to feel his pain. You know what I'm saying? Because despite the fact that they still pulled it off, what's up, brother? How you doing, man? Yeah, man. What's going on with you, man? Dog life. I told you. Did not tell you. They pulled it off. I was there, It was fun, man. I had a great time, man. Vegas is beautiful, man. I got some other stuff that I'm gonna run on just NetStar stuff that pertain to a lot of the stuff that's going on, the city of Vegas and some of the sights and scenes. I'm just keeping this sports right here, and I know I'm going on. I'm streaming on both of them. You know what I'm saying? I'm streaming on both of them in regards to the sports show. But when we get to the showing you the sights and the scenes around Vegas, I'm going to go just off NetStar. So y'all stay tuned for that content. Telling you, man, I've been out there working. I think I worked a little bit too hard. I came back and was having serious leg seizures and stuff, man. I got in trouble, man. I couldn't even get up, man. I was like, oh no, please don't let me go out like this. But after I cooled off and drank some water and drank a lot of water, got back hydrated, I'm back. And I appreciate you pulling up though, man. Most definitely. So yep, that was Florida State's response, and righteously so. Feel bad. There was I don't know what they consider a no-win scenario, but most definitely on. But it's to me, I've been saying they was gonna bring Alabama back. I said this weeks ago. I'm gonna put my receipt clips together so I can show you, so you can realize that I'm not just talking this shit. I know what I'm talking about, and that they brought. Alabama was sitting back there for so long, you almost forgot about it until people started losing, and right off the rip, they said, "Oh, Alabama," And like I said, I was on this airplane with this young man, and he told me, he said, "Well, man, they're gonna bring Alabama back." I said, "Yeah, well, who they gonna? They gotta leave FSU there." And he said, "Well," he said, "I can tell you right now, Alabama's coming back." I said, "Man, I hope not, man." And I said, how they gonna leave out Texas, right? Texas beat Alabama, and they 12-1. So how they gonna leave him out, man? Me and this guy had a nice talk all the way back from Los Angeles, right? He called me up as soon as and I just met the guy, right? But he hit me up as soon as they made the announcement that Alabama was in. I was like, oh no. And then I said, so what happened? Because I was still recovering, right? And he said, Texas is in and Alabama. I said, so they put both of them in? And then that's when it hit me. They kicked Florida State out. I was like, oh, whoa, that is foul. So they took them both in, but one of my wishes came true. I do not want to see the Huskies play at Alabama right off the rip. You know what I mean? I don't mind seeing them playing in the championship, but off the rip, right off the rip, because the next thing you know, you would have been playing in a bowl game right next door to Alabama, and it'd have been 50,000 Crimson Tides up in there on our little 20,000 presence, and it had just been a wash. Everything would have been rigged against us. Because let's face it, Alabama traditionally, they are what they are. They are what we think they are. We don't want to have let that momentum build up. Hopefully. So here's another thing. The championship game should, when I'm not trying to jump too far ahead, but let's just say the championship game is in Houston, in Texas. Okay, now you know how close that is to Alabama. So Alabama's looking, as far as like being able to work with, their fan base and all that, they're looking real optimal right now. And if they can pull off a victory against Michigan, and if you ask me, if you heard it from me first, they will. They will beat Michigan. And they'll be looking at the play, guess who? Because all we got to do is handle the business with Texas. That's it. Just handle the business with Texas. And we'll be looking at a game of season to remember in Houston, huh? You hear me? But I'm definitely going to Shreveport, and so I don't know what's going on. We can't put our horses in front of behind the carts, or the carts in front of the horses. We got to make sure that first of all that they're going. Then I'll go to Houston for the championship. But man, you guys asked me. I said it from way back that it was a cluster funk. That's what I called it. A cluster funk. So are the Seminoles though. Well, they got kicked to the curb, bro. They eliminated them. The first undefeated team to be eliminated they didn't even give them a shot. Hell yeah, we can go to Houston. That's 2 weeks from now. No, it's longer than that. I think it's like 3 weeks away. So lots of time to get ready. You know what I mean? So anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. I want y'all to make sure you check in with me. So when I get into my thoughts about, we're going to go by the numbers with this Texas game, that we got with the Longhorns and whatnot, pre-game analysis. And then we're going to get into further about the last rankings here and how you guys feel about it, and definitely talking about college football championship, most definitely, man. And man, I just can't wait, man, especially if my dogs is gonna be in there. All right, man, I appreciate you, man. Micah, I appreciate you. Hey, hit me up tomorrow, brother. I got some stuff to share with you, okay? But most definitely hit me up. All right. Yeah, and that part of that, let me make this announcement. That by next week I will be relocating the studio and whatnot. And you guys that are participating, working with me, knowing that stream work makes the teamwork, just to hit me up on IG. We'll let you know where we're gonna land at, but it'll be by next week. All right, most definitely. So with that being said, man, I appreciate y'all coming in, And most definitely, man, most definitely, go Dogs. What you said?
Go Dogs, we're going to make it to the playoffs this year.
All right, that's what's up. Thank you very much. Yeah, you look like a little husky. Yeah. All right, you're good. Thank you, sir. All right.